Hi, I'm Kellie Murphy-Ringate, fire inspector and public educator with Excelsior Fire District, and welcome to First Responder TV, your local public safety source. We'll be featuring training exercises, safety tips, and much more. Here's what's coming up on First Responder TV. Ice is unpredictable and emergencies do occur. To prepare, the Excelsior Fire District trains every winter to respond to ice-related emergencies. Matt Hehl from AAA talks about how to stay safe when driving in winter weather. Scam Alert will give you an update on scams that have been targeting citizens in the lake area. And everyone's favorite master of avoiding danger is back. The LMCC safety expert gives us some important snowplow safety tips on Safety Source. You need to know the recommended guidelines for ice thickness when you venture onto a frozen lake. You should also be prepared on what to do in case you break through the ice. The Excelsior Fire District trains on how to respond to many different ice rescue emergencies.
We have a person that is in the water. It's cold, they're getting hypothermic here. Water Patrol is to ride with their airboat. They're gonna try and get the victim out of the water with it.
Water Patrol is entering the water.
The people on shore here will be talking to the victim in there, trying to keep them calm, keep them alert. Before we ever send anybody in the water, first off, we're always gonna attempt to try and throw something or reach something out to try and bring that person in. Once they get them in, then they'll take them to shore to an ambulance that'll be waiting there. We're practicing with Water Patrol on our own boats to see how this works. Their boat is really new for them and our boat's really new for us, so this is the first time we're doing this. We're seeing how they work together.
Since we have one victim in the airboat.
We actually set up a unified command with Water Patrol and our people. They're not even on the premises or right here, but they're sitting somewhere getting a visual picture from our people that are here and making tactical decisions as to how we're going to go about getting people out. The other thing is actually getting the hands-on work with the firefighters out here to help get the people in and practice their skills out here in the cold weather suits and stuff out in the water. We're training a new person as to how they work, how to float in them, how to get around in them, because it's quite different than just being out in the water normally.
Okay, we're going to need some help down here on shore to get him up and out.
Being a volunteer department, we don't know who's all going to show up, so everybody's kind of got to be trained, getting people that haven't been trained, getting them used to this, so they're not going into something completely dark. They actually know what they're doing and can have a good comprehension of what we're asking of them.
Excelsior Boat 21 to command.
First off, you should never be out on the ice alone at night. If you get out, after you're in an incident like this, just call somebody and let 911 know that you've gotten out of the water, where you are. Within 2 or 3 minutes, you're already starting to get hypothermic, starting to not make good sense because it's raining and everything that's going on here. I mean, you're wet, and the biggest thing you got to do is you got to get that wet clothing and stuff off you and get somewhere and warm and dry.
The victim thinks there was one more person and he thinks they're in the water.
Even if you do go down, there's a really good chance that we can get you revived, because the cold water slows everything down in your body to the point that you can survive for quite a while underwater.
Grab on that board.
Can you feel your legs? Are you able to help?
I think the biggest thing is working with the Water Patrol and with these pieces of equipment that we have here, getting it so that we can get these things more refined, so if this does happen, we're on top of our game. The Excelsior Fire District, we have out at our Station 2, which is in Deep Haven, we have what we call Boat 21, which is a hovercraft. It's basically a vehicle that has an engine on it that runs a big fan. It floats on a cushion of air, and so it can go on the ice and off into the water and everything. Water Patrol, they have a fan boat. It's very similar to that, except for the fact it's actually an aluminum hulled boat and it's just propelled by a fan, so it doesn't ride on a cushion air, it's actually riding on the aluminum hull on the ice and off into the water.
Is he in the boat?
He's in the boat.
With the lake conditions, with having ice and water and everything, especially the changing seasons, you need to have equipment like this to get out here on the lake and do this.
1706, if you could just stand by.
When you do get out, you need to call 911 and say you're out, so we're not looking, because the next step after this is they're going to call divers in, and divers will come out and start diving looking for you, because if we can't find you around the lake just by going around, that's going to be the next step, because we're going to assume you're in the water.
Excel Marina loading the victim into the ambulance.
Coming up next, we'll talk to Matt Hehl from AAA about winter weather driving. More First Responder TV right after this.
We interrupt this program to bring you this important message.
The Lake Minnetonka Communications Commission, located in Spring Park, Minnesota, offers free television production classes. You heard it right. Free, free, free. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help bring your idea to the big screen.
Why, thank you. We are very friendly and knowledgeable.
From studio lighting and nonlinear editing to on-location shooting, we'll guide you down the path you need to succeed. Hurry in, folks. An opportunity this good won't last forever.
Cable access channels are critical tools for local government. They provide important information about issues, services, and programs, as well as local emergencies. They also allow you to watch your local elected officials in action. Through the provision of governmental access channels, our communities are kept informed, educated, and entertained. Where else can you get information about your local government? Make sure everyone has a voice. Support your local government access channel.
Welcome back to First Responder TV. I'm here with Matt Hehl from AAA, and we're going to talk about driving safely during the winter. Matt, tell us a little bit about AAA and how it relates to the community, and a little bit about its history.
Yeah, well, for over 110 years, AAA has been the most trusted and vocal advocate for motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians throughout the country. And back in 1902, when we got our start, it was just a bunch of motor enthusiasts that got together and formed AAA from a bunch of smaller motor clubs, and they advocated for things like roads that they could operate these vehicles on, uniform traffic laws, and just overall traffic safety. And so we continue to serve the community in those types of ways.
Matt, can you tell us how drivers should prepare for driving in the winter?
Absolutely. Well, winter driving is all about being prepared, and that includes being prepared as a driver, and it includes being prepared with your vehicle. You want to make sure that your vehicle is ready for winter driving.
And what are some of those tips that you can give our viewers about preparing their vehicle for winter driving?
Yeah, well, from a mechanical aspect, winter climate in Minnesota can be some of the most dangerous and exhausting conditions on a vehicle, including its components. Beginning with, let's say, the tires. The tires tend to lose a lot of air pressure when you get cold temperatures in the winter. And so you want to make sure that your tires are properly inflated, and you want to make sure that you have tires that have enough tread to handle icy and snowy roads. It also includes things like your battery. In order to start a vehicle in really cold weather, you need to have a battery that can take a full charge. And so you want to make sure that you have your battery tested before winter comes, and if it's getting towards its end of its life, you want to make sure that you get that replaced. Other things you want to make sure when you're going on a trip or even just to the grocery store in the winter, you want to make sure that you clear your vehicle completely of snow and ice, because it can cause a hazard not only for your visibility, but for visibility of other drivers as well. And you want to make sure that you have things like good wiper blades so that, again, you're getting the best visibility possible. Those are the kinds of things you can do to make sure that your winter travels are safe.
So if you're stranded in your vehicle, what should be in your emergency kit?
Yeah, well, whenever you're taking a trip, again, whether it's a long distance or just a short distance, you want to make sure that you have that emergency kit in your vehicle. That's going to include things like jumper cables, maybe a few wrenches and screwdrivers for minor things that come up. You're also going to want a cell phone or something that you can make contact with emergency services or someone else in the event you become stranded. You also want to make sure that you have things like water or warm blankets and clothing that will keep you safe for any extended period of time while you're waiting for some help to come.
Should people have like gloves and extra hats and mittens and toe and foot warmers and a little bit of candy in there too?
Absolutely. That candy is going to give you some energy to kind of keep you awake and alert while you're waiting for help. So you want to make sure that you have things that are going to keep you warm, keep you alert, and if you do become stranded, stay with your vehicle. Don't try to walk anywhere because it will just impair those people that are coming to rescue you to try to find you. So you want to make sure you stay with your vehicle, and maybe even put some sort of a signal on your antenna or somewhere that maybe someone can see you. That could be a bright piece of cloth or anything like that.
Or even a blinky light or a big sign that says help that you can put in your
Yes, even some sort of a strobe or a light, that would definitely help to make you visible to those rescuers.
And people need to know that if they do leave their vehicle, they risk the chance of also getting hypothermia or frostbite.
Absolutely, those conditions are not ideal to be walking in. So just stay with your vehicle, try to keep warm, and just wait for help to come.
So what are some do's or don'ts when people are driving in winter weather?
Do not use your cruise control. Oftentimes the cruise control, when you hit icy or snowy patches, can cause you to lose control of your vehicle because you're going to lose the traction that you have on the road. Here's something you should do. Make sure that you take time. Everything that you need to do in winter, whether it's starting, stopping, any kind of a maneuver with the vehicle, takes more time in winter. So you want to make sure that you give yourself plenty of time. If you're taking a trip, again, whether it's a long trip or a short trip, make sure somebody knows where you're going and what route you plan to take. Because in the event that you do become stranded, they will have a better idea as to where to find you. So those are some things that you can keep in mind when you're traveling in winter.
A lot of times people don't think about when they go out traveling that there might be accidents on the road that are going to slow them down. So they should even probably prepare for, you know, things that they can't think of, like people being stranded on the side of the road, tow trucks, things like that are going to slow traffic down just because there's gawkers.
Absolutely. Whenever you're going to travel, get yourself in a proper mindset. And so that means expect delays. Keep alert for things like emergency vehicles, snowplows, things of that nature that are going to cause you to have to slow down and really pay a little bit more attention. Doing those things will keep you safe on the road.
What are some of those techniques or a way that you can prepare to maneuver in traffic during the winter?
Yeah, some of the things you encounter in winter that require special techniques is you might be, your vehicle might enter a skid. And we have front wheel skids and rear wheel skids. In either case, you need to take your foot off the accelerator, steer in the direction that you want the vehicle to go. And once that vehicle straightens itself out, then you want to make sure that you're not braking hard or putting too much acceleration on it. Other techniques you're going to want to keep in mind. A lot of people think that when they're, leaving a stop sign or a red light, they think the more power they give the vehicle, the easier that traction is going to be to get them going. Sometimes that's wrong. Sometimes less power can mean more traction. So those are things you want to keep in mind and really master to keep yourself safe in winter.
Do you have any classes or any kind of information available to people, especially if you've got somebody who's a new driver or somebody who just bought a new vehicle and it's way different than the vehicle they had before? Is there any way you can help them out with some of these driving tips?
We do. Oftentimes we get people that come in from the south or places where they've never encountered winter driving. And so a lot of times just contact your local AAA office, and there's information available on how to handle winter weather and how to drive safely in winter, free of charge to the public. So I would encourage people to either visit their local AAA branch, or AAA.com can always give them more information.
Now, there's another thing. When people are approaching a snowplow on during a blizzard or whenever they're out, what should they do? Should they try to pass that snowplow? Should they be behind it? What's a good way to stay safe? Because usually the snowplowers can't see you.
Absolutely. Those guys have the hardest time seeing vehicles around them and behind them. So what you want to do is maintain a good, safe following distance from those snowplows. A lot of times they're clearing the snow or that pavement that you're about to drive on. If you have to pass, do so when it's safe. Make sure there's good visibility, and make sure that you keep eye contact with that plow, and just try to stay visible at all times around those plows and even emergency vehicles.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, you know what? Another thing we would do is encourage parents who may have teen drivers or are thinking about getting their teens enrolled in a driver's education program. Do it in the winter. That doesn't sound intuitive to someone, but it actually is going to help a lot, because number one, those teens are going to get exposed to winter conditions while they have a supervisor sitting next to them, such as mom and dad. And a lot of times parents will enroll their kids in driver's education in the summer, and the first time that those kids are exposed to winter weather conditions, they're going to be alone and by themselves, and they might not have any idea about the special techniques or things that are required to stay safe in winter. And so we just want to say again, if you have a teen driver, take them out on these winter roads and practice with them. Make sure they get lots of experience to these adverse conditions. And if you're thinking about enrolling a child, do so in the winter.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Your information is really good for everyone of all ages, so thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First Responder TV will be back in just a minute.
Different words describe different people. But in the eyes of the law, there's one that fits us all. Human right number 7. We're all equal before the law. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Walk a straight line, that's ridiculous.
We know how hard it is to admit that you've got a problem, that things sometimes seem to be spinning out of control. We know how we sometimes hurt the people we love without realizing it at the time. We know because we've been there. We're Alcoholics Anonymous. If your drinking is affecting your life and family, look us up. We're in the phone book and on the web.
Welcome back to First Responder TV. It's time for Scam Alert. This segment alerts the public on scams that have been reported to local police departments.
Charity scams happen when an individual or group deliberately misrepresents its fundraising intentions or solicits charitable funds for illegal causes. These happen throughout the year, but are more prevalent during the holiday season or when natural or man-made disasters strike. You'll get appeals over the internet, in the mail, or by telephone urging you to contribute financially to a good cause. Make sure that the organization you're giving to is a legitimate charity and not one that intends to put money into the hands of con artists. Most states require charities to register and file annual reports showing how they use donations. Be cautious about emails asking for personal information and companies that use sound-alike names for well-known charities. If you're not sure whether a charity is legitimate, check it out with your state charities regulator and the Better Business Bureau before you donate. A Carver County resident received a phone call from a male who claimed he was with the federal government grant program. The caller told the homeowner that the government wanted to reward citizens for paying their taxes on time by paying them $1,000. The caller's company would deposit a check into their bank account once they provided him with the account and PIN number. Be aware, this is a scam. Do not provide personal information or bank account numbers to strangers on the telephone unless you are the one requesting the service and only if you're certain that it is a legitimate business or person. If you have experienced a similar incident, please report it to your local police department. Several police departments in the area have been receiving reports of an advertising scam. The suspect enters local businesses and states he works for a major bank chain. He offers them a chance to purchase advertising space on dry erase boards that will be distributed to all bank employees and customers. The suspect collects an amount of money from the businesses and will send them an example of the dry erase boards, saying that these have been distributed to the bank employees. However, aside from the copies sent to the business, no other dry erase boards are being produced or distributed to any banks. Ask for a business card or corporate ID, and keep or make a copy of it. If you have any questions or would like to report an incident, please contact South Lake Minnetonka Police Department at 952-474-3261.
When we come back, the LMCC safety expert gives us some important snowplow safety tips on Safety Source. But first, we'd like to spotlight a member of the community that goes above and beyond in our segment, Making a Difference. This month, it's 2012 Mound Firefighter of the Year, Ben Gottschalk.
I'm around a lot of great people here and a lot of experience, and to be in the same category as some of the previous winners, it's, like I say, a big honor. I was shocked, couldn't believe it. Born and raised here, and it started when I was young, watching the fire truck go by. I think everybody gives back to their community in different ways, and I like to help people. And I like to work. I believe if you're going someplace to work, you work and don't watch people work. Biggest thing I'd be proud of is keeping my truck percentage up. Been on 40% of every truck that's left the building on a yearly average. Even though there's the element of danger, there's a comfort level that I have that yeah, it's a house and it's on fire, but it's a weird feeling that you can be so nervous to go to a house fire, but once you get there, you relax. The experience here, there's guys that I've known, you know, their dads are here or have been here, and you know, you look up to them and you want to be like them still to this day, no matter your age. Big shoes to fill, and you figure that if they could do it, you can do it.
It's your community, it's your airport. Being aware and vigilant is the best defense against the ongoing threat of terrorism. As users of the airport, you are our eyes and ears. If you see anything suspicious at or near MSP International Airport, report it to the airport police.
The very real and deliberate threat that this nation faces is not confined to the airport. If you see suspicious activity anywhere in the community, report it to your local police department. You are an important part of keeping our communities safe.
Keep an eye out and keep our airport safe.
Be aware, be vigilant, and be safe.
Raise your hand if you know the leading cause of death for Minnesota teens. Well, it's not your high school cafeteria food, it's traffic crashes. And what can you do? Buckle up. You've mastered the web and text messaging, but the seatbelt remains a mystery? Think it's uncool? So is your face going through a windshield. So buckle up. Every body, every seat, every time, and live to drive another day.
A message from our partners at AAA and the Minnesota Safety Council. For more information on Live to Drive Another Day, visit myfox9.com.
Your best chance of staying safe during and after a snowstorm is to understand the special rules of the road. The LMCC safety expert heads to Victoria, Minnesota to bring you these important snowplow safety tips.
And now it's time for Lake Minnetonka's favorite champion of safety, protector of humankind, and master of avoiding danger, the LMCC's safety expert.
Oh, hi there. World-renowned LMCC safety expert Chris Vogt here. Today I'm in Victoria, Minnesota on a cold, blustery day at the Public Works Department. Now again, as a world-renowned safety expert, it's my job to make sure that you, John Q. Public, is safe during the cold winter months. Today we're going to go over some important snowplow safety tips. Now again, as I said before, I am a world-renowned safety expert. I would never go to the end of this driveway as a snowplow is coming through. Did I just say snowplow?
Is that the LMCC safety expert? What's he doing out here?
Well, I guess I'm not that much of a safety expert after all. Brain freeze. You know what, maybe I should leave it to the experts here at the Public Works Department in Victoria. I'll see you in a little bit. Ow.
A lot of the common problems that we see out plowing snow, depending on obviously time of year, whether it be around Christmas time, holidays and so forth, is a lot of traffic. Traffic, whether it be citizens parking on the road and impinging the way that we can get around. It takes a lot more time for us to get around parked vehicles on the road versus if the road was perfectly clear. We have, obviously you can see behind me, large trucks that isn't very easy to maneuver and move around, especially when it comes to slippery conditions, that if people could take the time or a second to pull off into a neighbor's driveway or off the road that we can get by, we want you to get to where you need to go. You know, is obviously a watch for us. If you know it's snowing, pay attention, you know, listen. It's a very distinct sound when you know a plow is coming, whether it be the loud diesel motors or just the plow scraping on the ground. You know where we're at. If you're out shoveling your driveway and it's a family event, know where your kids are at. Animals, dogs, cats, anything that might else be outside. We don't want to do any damage or do anything, you know, unsafe to start with, but it's also kind of a citizen's responsibility to kind of help us out, because we've got a lot of miles to cover in a short amount of time, and we want to try to do it the best possible way. We do drive rather large trucks. I mean, with the wings and the plows on the front, we can exceed up to 16 to 18 feet wide. And most residential streets are 20 to 24 feet wide, so we're taking up 3/4 or at least 2/3 of the street up. And, you know, after about 3-4 snowfalls, the curb lines are 22 feet, it starts getting 18, 16, it gets narrower and narrower. A lot of the things that we see, especially with residential neighborhoods, is when we start to take intersections, go around corners, is that cars will come right up to the stop sign and won't let us get around, to where, you know, we try to make that happy medium. We wait, let them come out, then we got to kind of start back over to where, you know, like I mentioned earlier, if they could just pull off, let us keep going, and let us, get out of the way. We're going to make the road a lot safer and a lot smoother for them to travel. Snowplow safety is that, we're out there doing our best. We're going to continue to do our best. If you've got issues or anything else, make sure to let us know. Try not to stop the driver on his route. Try not to talk to those people personally. If you got, questions, there's a number, usually called City Hall. Let us know about those things. But most of all is that we're out there, and if you can help us out, we definitely make it a lot easier for everybody.
Well, I hope you all learned some valuable snowplow safety tips today. I know I sure did. Ow. I think I have frostbite in my ear canal. Oh, bye.
Thanks for watching First Responder TV, your local public safety source. If you have an idea for a segment, an upcoming public safety or fire prevention event, please let us know. This is Kellie Murphy-Ringate giving you information you can use, share, and to live by. See you next time.